You think you know Good Times, but you haven't seen it like this. We're diving back into the Evans family living room to pull out 25 small secrets hidden in plain sight. Props that tell a different story. Background looks that change a scene, and throwaway lines that actually matter. Stay with us through the countdown. The last few will make you want to re-watch the whole series. Subscribe to Comedalgia so you don't miss a single surprise.
We're gonna have such a good time.
You bet we are. I just love weddings.
You're telling us more.
Number 25. The show that came from a spin-off. Here's a twist. Most people missed Good Times. Didn't come out of nowhere. Florida Evans first showed up as Maude Findlay's housekeeper on Maude B. Arthur, and Maude itself spun out of All in the Family Carol O'Connor. In 1974, producer Norman Lear and creators Eric Monti and Mike Evans gave Esther Roll her own series, moving Florida from an upper-middle-class Tuckahoe, New York home into the tough, vibrant projects of Chicago's South Side. That bold transplant reshaped the character, changed the show's tone, and set the stage for performances by John Amos, Jimmy Walker, and the rest of the cast. And you can still spot tiny choices in casting, sets, and lines that prove how deliberate the whole move was.
A primitive art carved by a black artist.
If you say so. Louise, can I speak to you in the kitchen, please?
Number 24. Henry became James Florida's new story. Florida Evans first appears on Maude as the wife of Henry Evans, a New York City firefighter. On Maude, she's part of a stable, middle-class black family in the suburbs. When producers spun her off into Good Times, they erased that backstory. Henry was renamed James Evans Caesar, and his steady job disappeared. James is written as a working-class dad who takes odd jobs and manual labor. The family is moved from Tuckahoe, New York, to the public housing projects on Chicago's South Side. Writers explicitly give James only a 6th-grade education, a deliberate contrast with Henry the firefighter. That reset was intentional. The creators rebuilt the Evanses to fit a different story and setting. There's only one small nod to Florida's past in Good Times in the episode. The checkup she mentions having worked as a maid. Maude is never named on Good Times, and the Evans family is treated as if they'd always lived in Chicago. The change reshaped Florida's character and set the show's tougher, more socially focused tone.
Okay, where is he, huh? Where is he? Hey there, Bookman. Don't Bookman me. Look, Thelma, I got a bone to pick with your husband.
Number 23, 963, North Gilbert Avenue, the real project behind Good Times. The Evans family's address, 963, North Gilbert Avenue, apartment 17C, isn't just a made-up detail. The show anchors itself in a real place. Good Times never says Cabrini Green on screen, but the opening and closing shots use the red brick high-rise towers and the Chicago skyline, so any local viewer in the 1970s would have known exactly where the Evanses lived. Cabrini Green, built beginning in 1942, grew into a sprawling and complicated public housing complex, and by the 1970s, it was one of the country's most talked-about projects. Placing the family there gave the sitcom real stakes. The setting shaped the characters' struggles and made the show feel rooted in an actual urban community.
All of you have someplace to go.
Yeah, we could change that. Larry's working late tonight and wasn't gonna pick me up until after midnight anyway.
Number 22, filmed in California, not Chicago. Despite the show's authentic opening shots of Cabrini Green, Good Times was actually produced thousands of miles away. The first 2 seasons were taped at CBS Television City in Hollywood, and production moved to Metro Media Square in the fall of 1975, where Norman Lear's Tandem Productions was based. Every interior scene, the kitchen, living room, and bedrooms, was built on a soundstage in Southern California, not inside a Chicago apartment. That was standard for sitcoms then. Shooting on location in a real housing project would have been costly, complicated, and disruptive. Still, it's striking how grounded the show feels given where it was filmed. The writers, designers, and actors worked hard to recreate the look and lived-in texture of the South Side, while the exterior footage in the credits kept the series visually tied to Chicago.
Like a fool, give me some aspirin.
Yeah, Dad.
Sure can act ignorant sometimes.
Number 21, Eric Monti, born in the projects, writing the truth. Eric Monti didn't invent the Evans family's world. He lived it. Raised in Chicago's public housing projects, Monti hitchhiked to Hollywood with almost nothing, and, after taking theater classes at community college, fought his way into the business. He sold a script to Norman Lear and helped break into TV writing, then co-created Good Times, drawing directly on his childhood experiences to shape the show's stories and tone. Monty's real-life roots gave the series its authenticity, the family struggles, the small daily humiliations, and the moments of stubborn pride all come from things he knew firsthand. He later co-created What's Happening, continuing to bring urban black life to network television with the same hard-won honesty.
Maurice, you look wonderful.
Number 20, the co-creator who was also on TV. Mike Evans wasn't just a writer and co-creator of Good Times. He was already a familiar face on TV as Lionel Jefferson on All in the Family, and later The Jeffersons. While helping pitch and shape the Evans family for Norman Lear, he was simultaneously appearing each week as part of another fictional black family. The Good Times character Michael Evans was even named after him. A small inside nod most viewers would never notice, but a neat link between the shows.
I want you to call her Carol and me Maud. Now what shall we call you?
Mrs. Evans.
Number 19, from John and Maddie to James in Florida. When Mike Evans and Eric Monty first wrote the pilot, the family had different names. The parents were John and Maddie, and the kids were JJ, Thelma, and Michael. But everything changed once. Norman Lear signed on, and Esther Roll was attached to the project. To match Florida's established identity from Maude, the writers renamed the family Evans, turned the parents into James in Florida, and folded Roll's backstory into the new series. That behind-the-scenes decision quietly rewired the show's origin. What began as an original family drama became a deliberate continuation of a character viewers already knew, and that choice shaped the tone, casting, and the way the series connected to the wider Lear TV universe.
So, you're Mr. Evans. Hi, I'm Valerie Johnson, your new assistant.
You're my new assistant?
Number 18, older than he, looked Jimmy Walker and JJ. When Good Times introduced JJ as a 17-year-old, the actor playing him was merely a decade older. Jimmy Walker was 26, and that mismatch shaped how the character was staged and remembered. Walker's background in stand-up gave JJ a comic elasticity and a knack for catchphrases that read younger than his years. So wardrobe, makeup, and camera work leaned into movement and reaction shots rather than lingering close-ups that might expose the age gap. The real-life closeness in age between Walker and John Amos, who played his father, was smoothed over by Amos's gravitas and by scripts that emphasized generational conflict rather than chronology. Off-camera, Walker's improvisational instincts and timing helped turn JJ into the show's breakout source of laughs, which in turn pushed writers and directors to balance broad comedy with the series' heavier themes. That tension, an older performer selling a teenage role through energy, staging, and performance choices, is part of why JJ still feels larger than life, and why the character's legacy is equal parts comic relief and cultural touchstone.
Hey, Mr. Evans, huh? You wanna go with me? Bulls are playing the Knicks tonight. I got second row tickets.
Second row tickets? You got to be jiving.
Number 17, Dynamite, nearly didn't happen. The now legendary Shout, Dynamite, almost never made it past the rehearsal. Stage director John Rich pushed Jimmy Walker to try the line in Season 1, Episode 2, Black Jesus. And both Walker and executive producer Norman Lear were initially doubtful that a single catchphrase could land so big. When audiences exploded with laughter, the phrase quickly escaped the show, plastered on t-shirts and posters, slapped onto novelty items, and even recorded on a talking JJ doll, turning a throwaway bit into a merchandising goldmine and a 1970s cultural touchstone. That popularity, however, intensified behind-the-scenes conflict. Esther Roll publicly complained that JJ's one-note antics were eclipsing the family drama the series was meant to explore, and Lear eventually limited Walker to saying "Dynamite" no more than once per episode to rein in the character's dominance. The catchphrase's rise, and the creative tug-of-war it sparked, reveal how a single comic moment can reshape a show's public image, its internal politics, and an actor's career for better and for worse. Number 16, how two future late-night stars wrote for JJ. At the height of Good Times' popularity, Jimmy Walker assembled a small writer's room at his Beverly Hills home to sharpen his stand-up material. And among the young, unpaid comics who showed up were Jay Leno and David Letterman, both then virtually unknown. Walker paid Letterman about $150 a week, while the group traded one-liners and polished jokes that Walker would use on stage. And sometimes adapt for JJ's bits. Leno later scored a brief guest spot on the show in Season 3. Those sessions gave Leno and Letterman some of their earliest professional writing credits and helped fuel Walker's live act. creating a surprising early link between Good Times and two comedians who would go on to dominate late-night television.
Man asked for a favor.
Look here, Bookman. I've had the final straw.
Bookman is just leaving.
Number 15, off-camera distance among cast. The warmth you saw on screen was largely a professional achievement, rather than a reflection of offset friendships. Jimmy Walker has said in interviews, including an Emmy TV Legends conversation, that during the show's run, he rarely, if ever, spoke to John Amos or Esther Roll outside of scripted scenes. The cast didn't socialize. They arrived, rehearsed, performed, and left, keeping personal lives separate and avoiding the kind of day-to-day interaction many viewers assume fuels family chemistry. There was no single explosive falling out that caused the distance, just a steady, mutual decision to keep work and life apart. And that professional boundary had practical upsides: fewer interpersonal dramas, clearer on-set focus, and a predictable working rhythm. At the same time, it made the actor's craft more remarkable through careful blocking, timing, and emotional commitment. They created believable bickering, tenderness, and shared history that read as intimate even when the performers didn't socialize. That contrast, private distance, public closeness, is one of the show's quieter curiosities, and a reminder of how disciplined performance and strong writing can manufacture the feeling of family.
Well, that's one way of putting it, but the other way, which is the right way, is that Florida's my wife.
Anyhow, I ain't got but a few minutes.
Number 14, Esther Roll's condition. Esther Roll agreed to join Good Times only after insisting the show portray a two-parent household. She refused the role, unless Florida had a husband on screen, arguing that television too often erased or diminished black fathers. That demand led producers to create and cast James Evans Sr. John Amos, a decision that reshaped the series' premise, opened storylines about intergenerational authority and discipline, and ensured the show presented a deliberate counterpoint to prevailing TV stereotypes about black family life.
Well, I'm going out there to stop them from laughing like that.
Hey, Michael, take it easy. You see those dudes from the plant? They're tough. I mean, not even I can stop.
Number 13, when James Evans left the writer's rift. John Amos adored Good Times early on, but grew increasingly at odds with a writer's room. He felt misunderstood black fatherhood. His blunt, sometimes heated objections to scripts, written largely by non-black staff, created mounting tension, and by the end of season 3, Norman Lear informed him his contract would not be renewed. The production quietly wrote James Evans out off-screen, a distant car accident reported at the start of season 4, setting up Florida's devastating grief episode that many critics still cite as one of the show's most powerful dramatic moments in later years. Amos and Lear reconciled, describing a fraught but ultimately meaningful creative relationship.
That's right. He's been touchy. He's been eating twice as much. That's it.
What's it?
Michael's pregnant.
Number 12, The Unlocked Door, a sitcom convenience. If you watch closely, the Evans family's front door is almost never locked. Neighbors, friends, and strangers stroll in without knocking or being buzzed. A small production shortcut that keeps scenes moving and comedy flowing while it became an invisible part of the show's rhythm. That open-door convenience was at odds with life in real 1970s Chicago housing projects, where privacy and security were daily concerns, making the recurring unlocked door gag a telling example of how sitcom staging often sacrifices realism for pacing and character interaction.
Michael and the Dynamites.
Number 11, geographic inconsistency between setting and footage. Although Good Times was set on Chicago's South Side, and the characters often referenced that neighborhood, the exterior shots used in the opening and closing credits were filmed at Cabrini Green on the near North Side, locations that are miles apart and culturally distinct. So the show's heart lived in the South Side, while its visual face came from the North Side, a small but telling mismatch most viewers missed unless they knew Chicago well.
Sweet Daddy Williams digs my artwork.
Now, are you out of your mind doing business with that hoodlum? He's the biggest number runner in the project.
Number 10, Ernie Barnes was the real artist behind JJ's paintings. JJ Evans' canvases on Good Times were actually the work of Ernie Barnes, a former professional football player turned painter whose signature elongated, rhythm-filled figures and vibrant colors gave the character's art its distinctive voice, nicknamed Big Rembrandt for his constant sketching. Barnes supplied essentially all the paintings shown as JJ's work, drew on influences from Toulouse-Lautrec to Michelangelo, Despite segregation limiting his museum access as a child, often painted figures with closed eyes to suggest people's blindness to one another's humanity, and even appears briefly in 2 episodes as a background extra while his art remained uncredited on screen.
I've come up with a scheme to get the green.
Oh, God, I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah.
What?
Come on, JJ.
What?
Well,
Number 9. The Sugar Shack's late arrival. The Sugar Shack didn't appear on Good Times until Season 4, 1976-77, when Ernie Barnes's most famous painting was added to the show's opening and closing credits in Seasons 5 and 6. The work even hung inside the Evans apartment, presented as if JJ had painted it himself. Barnes, who created 2 versions of the piece, saw the painting gain a separate life when it was used on Marvin Gaye's 1976 I Want You album cover. The first version is now owned by Eddie Murphy, while the second, the one shown on Good Times, fetched a record-setting $15.3 million at Christie's in 2022.
Mr. Bookman, or as you more affectionately known, Buffalo Butt.
Number 8. Quincy Jones' little-known role in the Good Times theme. Before James Gilstrap and Blinky Williams recorded the warm, gospel-tinged version of the Good Times theme that most viewers remember, the very first demo was sung by Quincy Jones. The song itself was composed by Dave Grusin, with lyrics by Alan and Marilyn Bergman, and Jones, already a respected arranger and composer by the mid-1970s, laid down the initial vocal guide that helped shape the final arrangement, a little-known detail that makes the opening credits sound different once you know the story behind the voice.
Michael, now.
But Thelma, it's a good lesson. Michael, life is full of little disappointments.
Number 7. From Norton to JJ. The physical template. Jimmy Walker drew much of JJ's physicality from Ed Norton of The Honeymooners, borrowing Norton's rubber-limbed, earnest energy and translating it into a 1970s South Side context. The result was a character whose movement and physical comedy were as defining as his catchphrases. A lovable chaos agent who stirred scenes more by action than resolution. Walker's background in stand-up and sketch work helped him refine those mannerisms into a consistent performance choice, turning a mid-century TV archetype into something fresh and unexpectedly effective for a new generation.
Didn't the comic book company reject that character?
Well, on a Dino Man's able to leap tall piles of rejections.
Number 6. Janet Jackson's first acting role on Good Times. At age 11, Janet Jackson joined Good Times as Penny Gordon, earning her first substantial dramatic work by portraying an abused girl who is eventually adopted by Willone. She appeared in 48 episodes across the show's final 2 seasons and handled material far darker than her earlier variety appearances with the Jacksons. The Penny storyline confronted abuse directly for a network sitcom, most notably implying a hot iron punishment off-screen while showing its emotional aftermath, and Jackson delivered consistently demanding performances that stood out even amid the series' established cast. After Good Times ended in 1979, she moved on to TV roles in A New Kind of Family and Different Strokes before her music career took over in the early 1980s. But those seasons already hinted at the presence and range she would later bring to a global stage.
Ain't nothing coming out.
The FBI. I gotta go again.
Number 5. A historic Nielsen first 3 black-centered hits. During Good Times' first full season, 1974-75, the show broke into the Nielsen Top 10 ranking, 7th, and drawing over a quarter of American households each week, and its success helped create an unprecedented moment in primetime TV history. Sanford and Son, The Jeffersons, and Good Times all sat in the top tier simultaneously, marking the first time 3 nationally popular series centered on Black life appeared together among the nation's most watched programs.
I went way out for that. You know, I could eat for a whole week for what I spent for that gift. Oh, you must have got us diamonds.
Number 4. Chip Fields and Janet Jackson's off-screen connection. Chip Fields played Lynetta Gordon, Penny's abusive biological mother on Good Times, but the on-screen mother-daughter relationship was fictional. Off-screen, Fields became a real-life friend and professional contact of Janet Jackson. Chip is also the mother of Kim Fields, who later starred in The Facts of Life and Living Single, and the family's ties in Hollywood extended beyond that single storyline, creating a lasting personal and professional connection that endured long after Penny's arc ended.
Well, the truth is, Michael, I don't want to transfer colleges now. Because, see, I don't want to lose.
Number 3. The show tackled topics television had never touched. Across 6 seasons, Good Times pushed a half-hour sitcom into unusually serious territory, bringing issues rarely seen on network television: gang warfare, child abuse, drug addiction, bigamy, suicide, paraplegia, evictions, unemployment, racial discrimination, rent parties, food price gouging, school desegregation, and political corruption satire into American living rooms. By framing these hard realities with warmth and humor, the series made the Evans family's struggles feel immediate and human, rather than abstract. And debuting in February 1974 amid Watergate, economic turmoil, and the unraveling of 1960s social programs, the show offered a specific, empathetic portrait of working-class black life that expanded what a sitcom could show and say.
I don't take too kindly to folks like you barging into my home without an invitation.
Madam, you are so right, Claude.
Number 2. Esther Roll's return in Season 6 came with a condition. After leaving Good Times at the end of Season 4 over creative disagreements, chiefly her unhappiness with the direction of JJ and the show's writing, Esther Roll agreed to return for Season 6 only if one demand was met. The character Carl Dixon, whom Florida had married in the Season 4 finale and moved to Arizona with, had to be completely erased from the series. Roll argued it was implausible for the devout Florida to have remarried so soon after James's death to an avowed atheist, and the writers complied by removing Carl from continuity entirely. When Season 6 premiered, he simply did not exist on screen. A deleted scene reportedly suggested he died of the lung cancer that sent the family to Arizona, but that brief implication never aired.
Nobody. Oh, yeah? What do you call putting a man's tie in an electric pencil sharpener? Yeah, and then you had it all the way up to the knot till I stopped.
Number 1. The show ended with the Evans family finally getting out. On August 1st, 1979, Good Times closed with The End of the Rainbow, a finale that finally rewarded 6 seasons of struggle by delivering a string of life-changing breaks. Keith signed with the Chicago Bears. JJ's comic strip was picked up, Willona landed a new job, and planned to leave the projects with Penny, and Florida announced the family was moving out of apartment 17C into a penthouse. The ending felt earned because the series had never spared the Evanses from setbacks, layoffs, near evictions, cramped quarters, and so this rare run of good fortune landed as a genuine emotional payoff rather than a convenient, tidy wrap. For viewers who had watched the family keep their heads above water for years, seeing them leave on their own terms made the finale both satisfying and resonant. If you found any of these details new to you, or if one of them sent you straight back to rewatch an old episode, drop a comment below and let us know which one got you. And if you're enjoying this kind of deep dive into classic television, the best thing you can do is hit that like button and subscribe. We do this every week, and there's a whole lot more where this came from. We'll see you in the next one.